Hello everyone. Today I am presenting our experiment on water treatment, specifically comparing a traditional chemical coagulant, which is aluminum sulfate, alum, with a natural alternative, which is Moringa oleifera seed. Okay, for our experiment target or objective in our mini project, to see if these natural seeds could remove turbidity as effectively as chemical coagulant. We tested different dosage and settling times to find the optimum or most efficient point for each. For the process, looking at our setup, we use a jar test apparatus. For alum, we use a quick process, just 1 minute of rapid mixing and 10 minutes of settling. For Moringa, the process was longer, 2 minutes of rapid mixing and a 60-minute settling period. We tested dosage ranging from 0 to 10 ml. For the result were very interesting for me. Alum performed well, dropping turbidity from 261 NTU to 12.1 NTU at 10 ml. However, the non-filtered Moringa seeds actually outperform alum, reaching a low of 10.1 NTU with only at 10 ml dosage. The filtered version of the seeds was less effectively, ending at 20.1 NTU. For the conclusion, alum is more faster. Moringa oleifera is powerful alternative that can achieve even at the higher clarity. This show great potential for sustainable water treatment in areas where chemicals are expensive or unavailable.
For the introduction, water contains suspended and colloidal particles that causes turbidity, and coagulation is needed to destabilize the particles and form settleable flux. Common coagulant used in water treatment is alum, and it causes residual metal ions, sludge generation, and environmental concerns. So, natural coagulant offer a safer and more sustainable alternative, such as moringa seed powder is evaluated as natural coagulant for turbidity removal.
Literature review. Firstly, I'm going to compare alum and moringa aloe vera seed powder for turbidity removal. Turbidity refers to particles like clay, silt, and microorganisms that makes water cloudy. The process of coagulation helps remove these particles by adding coagulants like alum and moringa. Alum is commonly used but has risk from aluminium residue and produce toxic sludge. On the other hand, moringa aloe vera is an eco-friendly and safe alternative. Alum effectiveness. Alum is effective and removes up to 95% of turbidity. However, it leaves harmful aluminum residue and produces toxic sludge that needs proper disposal. This raises concern about health risks and environmental pollution. Moringa oleifera is a natural coagulant that works similarly to alum. It removes 94% of turbidity. Advantages of moringa: first, is non-toxic and biodegradable. Second, produce less sludge compared to alum. Third, it is cost-effective and sustainable. Third, moringa comparison with alum. Alum is highly effective but cause health risks and environmental pollution. Moringa, on the other hand, safe, biodegradable, and effective with minimal environmental impact. A great sustainable alternative. For conclusion, alum is effective but poses risks to health and the environment. Moringa oleifera is a safe, eco-friendly, and effective option, especially for developing countries. Further research on dosage and optimization for large-scale use is needed to ensure a better result for coagulation process.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Nur Farah Adlina binti Zalaini. Methodology, how we run the experiment. So there are few steps, this is the earliest one. So we choose to use the stock solution for both alum and moringa, 1% each. For the moringa, filtered and unfiltered. For alum, is it? And then the dilution calculation where we use C1V1 equal to C2V2. And the main thing, which is our turbidity removal formula. Test procedure, the main method. So this is the picture of our unfiltered moringa oleifera powder 1. So we use three things. which is the rapid mix for 100 RPM, slow flocculation 30 RPM, and settling 0 RPM, where we put the stirrer at the top of the beaker. So, for alum, we use 1, 2, 10 method, and for Moringa, filtered and unfiltered, we use 2, 20, 60, all in minutes.
The objective of the experiment was to compare the effectiveness of alum filtered Moringa oleifera seed extract and unfiltered Moringa oleifera seed extract in removing turbidity from synthetic wastewater. The result clearly demonstrates that all three coagulants were capable of significantly reducing turbidity. However, their efficiencies, optimum dosage, and settling behaviors differed noticeably. With increasing dosage of alum, turbidity removal rose consistently at low doses, 2 to 4 ml. Alum removed over 90% of turbidity, demonstrating its effective and swift coagulation ability. The best performance was noted at a dose of 10 ml, with turbidity decreasing from roughly 261 NTU to 12.1 NTU, reflecting a removal efficiency of 95.36%. This high efficiency results from the hydrolysis of aluminium sulfate in water, generating positively charged aluminium hydroxide entities. This species efficiently counteract the negatively charged colloidal particles, enabling them to clump together into bigger flux that settle rapidly.
Hello, I'm here to talk about the results gathered from this experiment that we've gathered. Based on the result, we can see that in the Moringa seeds, we did two experiments using two different conditions of Moringa seeds. One is filtered and one is unfiltered. Based on experiment, we can see that both filtered and unfiltered shows excellent in Moringa and turbidity removal. But notably, the filtered one shows higher turbidity removal, higher results compared to the filtered one. Everything is the coagulant dosage is all similar, but the unfiltered one shows much higher turbidity removal overall. Next should be the graph, and here is more proof that alum solution has much higher gradient, meaning that it's much faster, and so the first one to settle at around 4 millimeter coagulant dosage. Both filtered and unfiltered shows much lower, not much lower, but the unfiltered one takes the advantage over the filtered Moringa seeds. But in the end, everything goes around here, which means that both of them are very good at turbidity removal, as they settle around more than 90% in turbidity removal.
These are the 7 key measures that strictly followed by DOSH guidelines, Control of Hazardous Chemical to Health 2001, OSHA 1994 for secure safety and health at work, and EQA 1974 to protect the environment quality. From this jar test, we see we use 2 coagulants, we have a lot of sludge after the experiment, and we also use a lot of synthetic wastewater. So we see how it's important to manage all of this according to the law of Malaysia.
Okay, so the conclusion for our conducted experiment should be that we have successfully compared the effectiveness of aluminum sulfate and Moringa oleifera seed powder as coagulant for turbidity removal in wastewater. This experiment shows that alum has much more rapid coagulation performance, but also have a very good of 95% turbidity removal. Moringa oleifera seed also exhibit excellence in turbidity removal at 96%, much higher than alum, but it also takes a much longer time to settle compared to alum. But overall, both are very good, and both can be both are able to compete with each other very directly. The advantage alum has is that it's much faster in time, but that's the advantage of using a synthetic solution, whereas Moringa is all natural or organic. My recommendation for this experiment is that in future application we should propose to use Moringa oleifera seed in unfiltered form. As we can see from the results, the unfiltered form shows much better prowess compared to the filtered one. Optimal dosage or range should, even on the graph, you can see that both Moringa seeds and alum all they settle down at around 4 milliliters of dosage. So my recommendation should be that we should use a much smaller range of dosage, so that we can see the graph in a much more advantageous. You can see the peak and you can see at which point did they start a much greater range, basically. Okay, settling time. We did this already in our experiment. We calculated 60 minutes for our Moringa seeds to settle, but it should be noted that Moringa seeds need time to settle in order to compete with Alum. So in that case, we should always note the time taken to be very accurate. So that's recommendation. Thank you.